Well, hello there. My name is Satchel Holmes Williams, and this is my Storyline 360 module for Dr. McCullough's class 6190E. My module's name is That's My Perspective, and it is a module that is going to take you on a journey of perspective taking, introspection, and reflection. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing you see when you enter my module is this just kind of blank canvas. I call it the ominous intro slide. And this slide is intended to really kind of pique the interest. Like, what in the world is this module about to do? Why is it starting off so almost creepy? But I call it ominous, right? And so it's supposed to be that way. That's how I intended it. And this is just to give you quick overview information about the module before you actually step into the actual module. So you click welcome here. And then this right here just explains my target audience. So this is for those who are 12 and older, who would like to take a journey through perspectives. And it is intended to enlighten people of different perspectives that we have in our world, and how our viewpoints and perceptions of those perspectives can change how we view people. You click continue, and then the first question that you get asked is, what is your first name? So this does take into account your name. I did want to make sure that you felt like this was a personalized module to you, so I did want to make sure your name was there. So I'm going to type in my name. So I have Satchel, so I'm going to put the cursor there, Satchel, click continue, and then immediately we change the tune, right? And so again, that ominous intro was really to pique the interest of the user, and then you have this beautiful bright colored display that is a total contrast to what we just went through. It's only 3 slides of that in the very beginning, so hopefully not too much to get through. You can't hear it, but there are some music in the background. The first 3 slides with the ominous intro had more of a kind of eerie sound in the background, and here we have this lovely kind of chipper, happy sounding soundtrack in the background, and this will play throughout the module. You can turn it down using the settings. You can mute it if you don't like it. You can turn it all the way down. So you do have those options inside the player, regardless of whether you're playing this online, on a phone, or a tablet. So if you don't like the music, you can turn it down. If you like it, you can turn it on up. So this is the first slide that really gets you to the module. And here I did incorporate the name. So my name is Satchel. I probably could have used a different name to kind of show the differences, since I am actually Satchel right here, but that is my name right here that I did post in into that ominous intro slide. When we press continue here, we do have our first little look into one of the quirks of this perspectives-based module. So the whole gist of the module is that we're taking you through different perspectives. I'm almost like the guy, I believe the name is the ghost of Christmas Past, Present, and Future, from the Ebenezer Scrooge movie, the Christmas movie. I think it's A Christmas Carol. And I'm essentially trying to take you to different places where you can be able to explore some of the perspectives that our world has to offer. And a part of that is because I am actually a fairy perspectives godfather, or an FPG. And so this is kind of like me saying, hey, I actually am like a fairy godfather, but please don't tell my boss. And my boss here is, of course, Dr. McClary. And if you didn't get the reference, this is a play on our lovely professor, Dr. McCullough. First name Larry, Dr. McCullough, Dr. McClary. And so here you can see that I kind of think that Dr. McClary wouldn't accept me for who I am. And so I'm like, hey, don't tell him, because he'll get really upset. So we're going to continue here, and again, we have these beautiful transitions that kind of transition in and outward within my module. Also, everything is on screen. I do have my previous here just in case you want to use it, but really the goal is that you never have to use anything outside of what's on this screen. So all of my buttons take you to where you need to go, and so you can really ignore a lot of the navigation. I did take out the side navigation as well, so that you can't skip around. I did want you to go through all of the parts of the module, and that was intentional. And so here I just am telling you, hey, are you ready to take a journey? And this is again where I'm using the name that I put into the ominous intro slide. I'm ready. And then we have this beautiful transition that kind of transitions to this classroom-like setting. So now we're going to ask some questions like we're in a classroom, because you know what? We're learning and we're teaching today. And so I'm going to ask some questions. And then here, there's this button that's like, but where is Satchel? Because, you know, I've been on every slide up until this point other than the intro. And so here, this is where I kind of show off some of my powers. So I like to take perspectives from different objects. So here I'm a piece of chalk on a chalkboard. And again, just alluding to the fact that I am a fairy godfather, and that I have these really cool powers, like turning into inanimate objects. Again, a quirk of my slide, kind of like a side quest to the main meat of the slide. So we're going to continue here, and then you have a basic multiple choice question. What does perspective mean? And then all these are actually correct, but the most correct answer is all of the above. So you just click it, and again, the navigation is really easy. I have this little cute blurb right here saying I'm human again, letting you know, hey, I'm back, I'm human, I'm no longer a piece of chalk. I'm going to go ahead and submit that, and then it does tell me I'm correct. There is a unique response when you are incorrect, so it says, hey, you know, keep on trying. You weren't wrong, but you weren't completely right either. Of course, this is the most correct answer. None of these answers are actually wrong, because they are all ways to look at perspective. So here, I'm kind of, again, playing around with you're my godchild, not my client, all that good stuff. So we're going to keep on going. And here we have this question that is like a branching scenario, actually. So depending on which one of these me's that you click, this will take you to a different part of my module, 2 different slides that basically affirm and help you to kind of get through whatever emotion you're feeling. So if you're feeling upset, it kind of gives you encouragement to kind of break free of that upsetness. If you're feeling unsure, it tells you to take the plunge, keep on going. If you're angry, it tells you, you know what? I feel angry sometimes, and we can get through this, right? I'm feeling pretty darn happy right now, so I'm going to click on happy. Also notice that as you are, you know, hovering over them, they do have sounds that they make. You can't hear the sounds, I don't think, through this tutorial, through this overview, but they do have sounds associated with them, and they do make you know, some animations. And again, I have my what you need to do down here. So you just click, it's one click. And so here I'm going to click happy, and you have this transition to this place right here. This is where I call it the happy place. And I do have this marker right here, and it does again go back to the fact that I like transforming into different inanimate objects. And here I'm transforming into a lovely piece of shrubbery or flowers, if you will. And I'm feeling the photosynthesis from the sun all over my beautiful petals, and that makes me happy. So again, affirming that you're happy. So just give an example of what makes me happy. And here I give you a nice little blurb about, you know, how cool it is to be happy, and how I always knew you were happy at the moment you stepped into my module. So again, clear button, let's learn. And this is where we actually introduce the first act to my module. So this is a 3-act module, 1, 2, 3. The first act is called The Boy and the Hallway. And you can see here I have this great picture of this hallway that supports what I'm about to do. So travel to destination. So again, I'm like taking you to different places. I have these cool powers, all that good stuff. So when I click here, we go to the boy in the hallway, and we have this instruction slide right here. So we click this, and the instructions pop out of thin air, because I'm magical, right? And so it just explains to you that on the next couple of slides, you're going to have buttons you're going to push, and they're going to have 3 different unique perspectives. Can you tell of the number 3? Yeah. So we have 3 different perspectives that you can go through inside this slide, and it will not allow you to go to the next perspective until you clicked all 3 perspectives. So it does help you to make sure that the end user is able to, you know, see all the perspectives before making a decision. So this is going to perspective 1. You can see here all I have is go back to intro, and you can actually see it goes back to the intro, takes us through the instructions again. When we click on these different markers here, you can see the young man's perspective in the middle, these ladies' perspectives over here, and this lady's perspective over here. And once you click all 3 perspectives, you see how now we have the go to perspective 2. Okay, so each perspective does require you to click on the 3 modules in order to continue. And again, that is intentional, and that was explained inside of the instructions, right? So I go to that to instruction or perspective 2. Then we go to, well, perspective 2. And we did do a color change, a nice fade in. Because again, we are in the same exact scenario, the same exact picture, but now we look at it from a different way. So if you go back to perspective 1, this perspective is what I like to call the new kid's perspective. So these groups of girls don't really like this new kid. Why is he here? And this guy's like, well, why in the world are they treating me so unkindly? Okay. And so when I do that, it's a little bit of a bug there. I'm not sure why it did that, but I'll figure that out later. So if you see right here, you do have a new perspective. This is what I like to call the love interest perspective. So this love interest perspective is where, you have these girls that kind of like this guy, and this guy is just totally oblivious. He's like, my shoes are dirty and I don't know what to do. Someone help me, right? And then when you go to perspective 3, then you have another color, another perspective, and this is what I like to call the candy salesman perspective. So this group of girls saying, hey, I think his dad owns or is the president of this candy company. These girls are like, hey, I really want a Twix bar from this guy. And of course, when you look at his perspective, he's actually selling Twix bars and candy bars during lunch. And so he's like, hey, I gotta keep my head down because you know what? If the principal catches me, I'm gonna be in huge trouble, right? And so again, we have this little checkbox that says once you have reviewed all 3 perspectives, you can move on. So again, you can go back and review the perspectives. I have to figure out why it's doing this weird thing where the button will show up and then it'll stop showing. I'll have to figure out why that does that. But when you actually go back to the intro, it does reset everything. And so it does work once you go back to the intro, or at least it should work. There you go. I'm about to say, come on, y'all. So it does work. For whatever reason, when you go back, it does something weird. I have to figure that out. But for right now, it does work. Just a little bit of a workaround. You still do not have to use any other navigation tools, which I'm very proud of. So even with a little bit of a stink inside of my module, it still works. Just got to go through a little bit more. So here you have a ranking question. So you just rank from the most to the least realistic. So most being the top, least being the bottom. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3 because you know what? That's what we're going to do right now. And so we're going to submit, and you can go back and review the perspectives, and it does take you back to that first perspective slide where everything works perfectly and it just goes through all 3 perspectives again. So I'm going to submit this, and this just gives you a nice generic response saying, hey, you know what? I'm glad that you feel that way. Since this question, it matters, but the responses are really just what you feel, right? So I don't have anything to critique you on because you know what? It's how you feel. It's your perspective. Moving on to the next question, we do have kind of a question where you really have to kind of look inside yourself and do some reflection. So if you could wave a wand and make any of these perspectives, 1, 2, or 3, a reality, which one would you choose? Regardless of whether you think it's realistic. So now I'm asking you to really put yourself in this young man's shoes, and which one would you want to have to go through in school if you had the choice? So this is giving you agency over, what path would you want to go down if you were in this young man's shoes? So here I'm going to do the candy salesman because that sounds really cool. And again, if you did forget the perspectives, I tried to give you descriptions as to what they were, neutral, so that they don't kind of, sway you one way or the other, but you can go back and review them in detail if you need to, and that does work. Once you submit, I do have a customized response for every single one of these. So I did click the candy salesman, and so here it does say I could release a Kit Kat right now. I wonder if he delivers. So again, just being quirky and making this something that both children and adults could enjoy. And so yeah, keep on going. So here we have a mood shift again. So here we have, again, this ominous background, but this time we have these 3 portals. So these 3 portals are now where we are going to pick one, right? So if you click this little, this marker down here, it does say, to click one. But you can just kind of instinctively see that once you hover over them, they can click. Each one of these goes to one of the 3 perspectives we just looked over, and it kind of dives deep into each one of them to show you the thoughts and the mindset of why different people feel the way they do. So if we go to this one, this actually takes us, the middle portal takes us to perspective 1, a deep dive. So if we go to take the plunge, this is going to actually give us a new way of interacting with the slide, which is through using hotspots. Okay, so basically, as it says down here, click each group to better understand their perspective. And so when you click on each group, click on the girls, you can see here that they have different thoughts. So here, this is not sure why I did that. I think I still have something that is crazy. That's a simple fix, but that button actually allows you that button actually allows you to review what this perspective was all about, what they were saying, and then this actually goes in detail as to what they were thinking or how they're feeling. So in this perspective, these girls were like, hey, these other girls don't like this guy, so we can't. And we have this kind of introspective moment with these girls, thinking about why they want to join this other girl's group, and maybe there's another way they could get in there without ruining this guy's life, right? These girls over here are saying, hey, you know what, this new kid, I'm not sure why he's trying to, get with us, right? Because this is just what people go through, right? As a new kid, you go through stuff, and you just have to deal with it, right? And again, that's a transition thing. I think I left something in there that's easy for me to fix really quickly. And if you look, every single one of these has this hidden check mark over it. So once you actually click on them, you know which perspective you reviewed. And of course, you can go back and review them as well. Okay. And then finally, we have this young man's perspective. I don't think this is going to fly out. I hope it doesn't, because I want to actually click on it. Thank you. So if you click on here, this actually tells you again what the perspective within this perspective was, and then you can see why he feels the way he does based off of his introspective thoughts. Okay. So then once you actually hit all three, again, kind of like with the first time, once you've completed all three, you've checked all your boxes, then you get the continue button where you can then go to the next thing. And so here you have the choice. So you can either choose another perspective, and if you do that, this actually shows you that you already clicked this one, so you can go here, or you can review this one if you wanted to again, but you don't have to. So I'm going to go over here, I'm going to click this, and then this is going to actually take us into perspective 2, and it does literally the exact same thing. Now this time, I don't think this is going to fly out because I did not put those on here, so this is how it's actually supposed to look. So again, here, this young lady thinks that our boy is cute. So then it goes into, kind of her mindset, what she's thinking and what she's going to do. And you do the same thing over here, and you do the same thing right here. And again, in this scene, he's oblivious to anything that's happening. So he doesn't realize these girls are kind of liking him. And so he's just like, hey, my shoes are dirty. And you can see how he feels. And again, this is how it should be. I'm not sure why it was flying out the last time. The other one works just fine as well, so I'm not going to go through and make you sit through there. But the other perspective does it as well. And the marker, the little check mark over the portals does persist. Let's continue onward as the slide suggests. And here we have just a nice wrap-up slide over Act 1. And again, we have your name up here. So Satchel, what you've done is called perspective taking. And so just telling you, you just did something, right? A lot of people don't realize that that was perspective taking, trying to look at different people's point of views and trying to, put your shoes or put your feet into their shoes to figure out, what? I understand what they're going through, okay? So then you click here, go to Act 2, again, a clear button, to then go to Act 2. So here we actually have the introduction of Dr. McLary. And of course, he is similar or resembles Dr. McCullough. So I enjoyed putting this in there. In this case, Satchel is taking a break, which of course is going to be our perspectives guide, or our fairy godfather of perspectives. And so this is his favorite activity, which is going to be our Act 2 IQ test. But before we get there, we have this little surprise from Satchel. Satchel's actually here with us still. However, he has now transformed, like he has many times within the module thus far, into a briefcase. So he turned into Dr. McLary's briefcase, and he's still here guiding you as well, but he's just letting Dr. McLary take the lead, okay? So then we're going to go ahead to our Act 2 IQ test. Again, a similar motif to what we did last time with Act 1. And then here, we go on in here. So this time we have an IQ test. We have 6 participants, and it does give you instructions as with the boy in the hallway. And it does tell you to please click on each participant on screen to get some useful information about it. This is very similar to what was happening with the deep dive into perspectives, but this time instead of it being perspectives, it is simply listing out what they do, their jobs, their degrees, what they, how old they are, all that good stuff. So when you click Let's Go, again, you click on everyone, and it has this beautiful transition to give you descriptions of who they are, and you go back, and then you see it does have a check mark over them to let you know that you've reviewed them. So you can go out of order if you need to, because you won't forget where you went. We do have some color theme based off of their outfit, so everyone has their own theme. I really like this slide. It looks really clean. And once you've reviewed every single one of these perspectives, then you have the button down here pop up. So again, we want to make sure that our end user is able to review everything before they move on, since the question after this is going to make them rank the IQs, and we want to make sure that they have an accurate description of each of these participants. So we're going to click here. And then we have this beautiful transition to this slide here, and this is a lovely drag and drop slide. This is the first one, and the only one actually of the module, and this is really fun to implement. And essentially you can review the info if you want to. You can click on them, it'll take you right back. This slide works beautifully. It's been working really well for me. So if you need to review, you can, but it'll make you go back there, and you can drag and drop them. So drag and drop each person's the boxes based on their IQ. 1 is the highest, 6 is the lowest. So the lowest perceived IQ will be here, the highest here, and again, you can look at their pictures. They're in the exact same order as they were, just a little bit smaller to accommodate more stuff on the screen. So I'm just going to put them randomly into these. I know the answer, but of course you don't. Or maybe you do, I don't know. So they go into the boxes perfectly, they snap into place, it's great. Submit, and you do have a response, and you can get this wrong. Of course, if you don't get it right the first time, I don't allow you to go back because we want to go ahead and progress, but it does give you a custom message saying, you know what, great try. It's not easy ranking intelligence based off of limited information. So you know what, let's just go ahead and see how we actually ranked inside of this IQ ranking. So you continue, and then it has this great transition, and it actually ranks you for them. So this young lady over here, her name is Mariah, she got the lowest IQ, and then this young man, his name is Ray. He got the highest IQ. And if you click on them, like it says up here, it does show you what their IQs are. And again, just like everything else, navigation does appear once you have done what has been told. So it will send you to the navigation. So you can see here, this young lady has an IQ of 112, this young man has an IQ of 136, and everyone in between has something in between. And so you just continue. And so here we have just a nice little essay question where I want you just to pour your heart out and reflect. You know, why did you choose the people that you chose? What did you factor in? Was there something that surprised you about this activity? You know, how they were ranked? And so you just submit that, and then, oh, well, you have to type something. I'm going to type hello world because I like coding. Submit something, and so then I just give this little funny blurb about how the response will be graded in 3 to 4 light years, because unfortunately nothing really happens with your response. I don't recall it or anything, but it's just for you to kind of get your thoughts out into the universe if you so feel the need. So we have a similar slide here about you know, being great and taking the step further to being better at perception and perspectives. And again, you have here Dr. McLary instead of myself. And so we're just continuing on. And then here I do a little bit of excerpt letting you know that the activity that you just did was actually something from a YouTube video that I saw. And so I adapted it to, you know, fit the motif and to fit the point of the module. But there is a video where that was taken from, and I really enjoyed it, and I think that the user, if you enjoyed the activity, would enjoy it. So I do give you a link here. It will not allow you to go to it while you're previewing, but I promise if you actually do this online through Review 360, it will allow you to go to the link. So then this is our button to go to Act 3, and then we have Act 3, and it is me again taking over for Dr. McLary, and Act 3 is you, which is of course the end user who's doing this. So here I show up again, and I just say, well, and again my name is there, Satchel, whatever name you put in there, it would show your name. It's been great talking to you and taking you on this journey of perspective taking, introspection, and reflection. Thank you for providing me the opportunity to show you all the beautifully complex perspectives and people all around us. And so you press continue here, and then I, again, just saying, hey, thanks for keeping my secret. You are an amazing human being. Just kind of like, I'm not actually human. I'm a beautiful fairy perspectives godfather. Until next time, right? But the gag, or like the twist of this whole thing, is that Dr. McLary is actually a fairy perspectives godfather as well. So this is a beautiful kind of circle moment here. I'll read it really quickly. Oh human, how good you've been to Satchel. I hope one day his, and I have it italicized and bolded for a reason, perspective changes and realizes that I'll accept him for the beautiful fairy godfather he is. I should know we're pretty awesome. So this is him revealing that he is actually also a fairy perspectives godfather, and he wishes that Satchel would change his perspective and his viewpoint on how he feels Dr. McLary would feel about him being that, and see that Dr. McLary would accept him for whoever he is. And it's a beautiful, end to the module. And so when you click this, I have it coded as concluding the course. I don't think in preview within Storyline 360 it actually does anything, which clearly it doesn't. So I'm assuming if the conclude course actually does what it's supposed to, it will exit the course and say, woohoo, you did it. And that is my module. Thank you so very much for taking this journey with me. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you, and have a great day. Goodbye.